So I've a little bit about restaurants now, something that's been, your whole life in so many ways. So I've been fortunate to be a partner with Dan Marley and Marley Sports Grills. And so for about 16 years now. And so I've kind of learned a lot of the ins and outs, but not on a daily basis like you live and breathe.
Yep.
But it's hard work, it's long hours, there's a lot of personal sacrifices that it takes to keep a place even going on a daily basis. All the personnel issues that you have, especially in a changing workforce that we have now, where a lot of people want to stay home and they're work from home somehow, but you can't do that in a restaurant. You got to show up. And you've had a lifelong history of working, managing restaurants, working in restaurants, starting restaurants. So you've made those sacrifices time and time again. So tell us a little bit about that journey and what are the biggest challenges that you've had or that you see right now that's going on in the restaurant industry?
Yeah, really good question. So early on, it's all about learning the business. So this is one of the few businesses that you have to be good at everything. You got to be good at creativity, recipe development. You got to be good at design. You have to be great at HR. You got to be great with finance. That's the part I'm actually really learning a lot about right now is finance and how we scale.
We can help you with that.
Yeah, exactly right. The finance and raising capital and how that all works. But early in my career, I moved as much as possible with Houston's because I wanted to get exposure to different communities. I grew up in New Orleans, and New Orleans is very much a very specific culture, right? And so I moved to Miami, got moved to Phoenix, got moved back to Miami, moved to Nashville, San Francisco, Orange County, and got a lot of different communities. And when I was in the military, I also learned the same thing. You gotta kind of go out. The best education you can have is going out and see the world because you get to see how other people live. And then you start understanding how people think. And then you take and apply that to the industry and go, okay, what is the average guest looking for, right? Value, great service, great flavor of the food, right? It's a simple model, but most people get stuck in their narrow view of it, right? And then they can't think outside of that box. But with exposure, you get to see a lot of that different stuff. And so I spent my first 15, 20 years just learning and traveling and moving. And then when we decided to launch Buck and Ryder and Ingo's, try to apply all that same stuff into it. Buck and Ingo's are completely and utterly different concepts, and that's by design. So we can keep them way different, grow them separately, and Pignon will be an offshoot of that same thing. But it all comes from exposure and learning and teaching and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
So why Arizona? You said you came here for a while, then you were gone again. What brought you back here, and why are you putting all this huge investment in this area?
In Arizona.
With your family and your business?
Yeah, so I had a daughter, and mom was from here. So we said, let's move here. And I had known my ex-business partner, Bob Lynn, who did the food for Houston's and founded LGO Hospitality. And he had known my reputation from moving around with Houston's and kind of fixing the restaurants that needed work. And so I connected with him, and he brought me on board and made me a partner immediately. And then we started growing LGO, and then we opened Buck and Ingo's, and then just like any marriage, we grew apart, and we decided to have Buck and Ingo's and grow these concepts, and that's kind of where we're at today.